So Kingdom Hearts 3 has finally, after 6 years of waiting since the initial E3 announcement, finally released. And the reviews are in. 9, 9.5, 4.5. And isn't that just the way with Kingdom Hearts? This is a series that is defined by its near perfection. Kingdom Hearts 1 is tight and novel, but fiddly and slow-paced. Kingdom Hearts 2 is fun, but increasingly convoluted. Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop are defined by a single move, and coded, well...
who's to say if it's even safe inside Riku?
Exists. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is really no different. In fact, it reaches new heights for the series that are the culmination of every single game in the series. Flow motion, shot lock, and situational commands combine with the classic X-based combo mashing we remember from the previous mainline titles. As a game, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best the series has ever played, both in terms of content and variety. Like, look at the Pirates World, it's Black Flag, but if it ran on anime logic. But, unfortunately, the failing is, well, in its story. Don't get me wrong, the plot itself is a great completion of the series. The characters you want to have interact, and in exciting ways. Hell, this is probably the most emotional the series has been, from being incredibly funny to being incredibly heartbreaking. But this is the main problem. All the plot only happens in the last few hours. To explain what I mean, we have to go back to Kingdom Hearts 1. In every world, we have something we're going after, either the Keyhole or Kairi, Riku and the King. And the story of that world morphs to accommodate that goal. Monstro isn't a Pinocchio retelling, it's Pinocchio and Geppetto and the gang dealing with Riku's newfound powers. Little Mermaid doesn't focus on Eric as the representation of the world beyond, but rather Sora, the Keyblade and the Keyhole. Olympus Coliseum isn't the story of Hercules, it's the story of how this environment of larger-than-life heroes reacts to the influx of Final Fantasy characters, both in 1 and 2. Also, side note, this line...
well, that's just something you'll have to find out for yourselves. Just the way that I did.
But we found out in 3 that Titans haven't even been defeated yet. So what have you done, Herc? What have you done? What have you done, true hero my ass? This integration doesn't happen to the same degree in Kingdom Hearts 3, and this is the point where I'm going to put up a big old spoiler warning. Just go play it, guys. I know I'm being critical here, but it's only because I love this game and series so damn much. Go play is good. Anyway, in Kingdom Hearts 3, the opposite design philosophy is true. Sora and the gang are subservient to the plot of the Disney world, to the point that major plot points will pass by off screen. Sometimes this can be because you're on your own little adventure with babysitter crab Jack Sparrow. Other times it can be as bad as Corona, where major plot threads are just off screen. Flynn is Eugene now! Rapunzel has the crown now! Flynn has escaped! Could you imagine being able to break Flynn out of prison? But nope, he's just... free. There is just so much required reading for Kingdom Hearts 3. And I don't mean the previous games. If you were dumb enough to be like, oh, I don't need to play these spin-off games. Oh wait, why do I not know about the plot, even though collections have been released on the PS3 and the PS4, and the Kingdom Hearts series is famous for having major plot threads outside the mainline series. Like, it's not like Kingdom Hearts 2 tipped me off to the fact that Chain of Memory is important. Oh, it's too confusing! You deserve to be confused. No, I mean, in these worlds, not only do you need to be following along with the plot of Sora, Donald and Goofy, but also searching your memory for the plot of the world you're in. I thought that this guy was supposed to be this guy. Like, I repressed at World's End after seeing it once, and now it's on the test? No, that's unfair. You don't need to be up to date on the plot of World's End to follow the overarching Kingdom Hearts story, other than the whole black box stuff. And we'll get to that. Oh, will we get to that? But here's the thing. That's actually a failing. If a world is inconsequential to the overall narrative of the game, save for tenuous thematic links and a plot thread that does not even show up in the freaking game... Again, we'll get to that. If that's the case, then what is the point of the world? It contributes to something that's been somewhat more obvious over the course of the series. Disney worlds are no longer a part of the plot. They're a gallery you pass through, marvel at all the Disney stuff, and at the very end, the plot of Kingdom Hearts drops in. Hell, this is even present world to world. An organization member will show up, say, "Hi, nice to see you again. Bye!" Except for best villain Vanitas, who straight up tries to murder you before being taken out by Sully. And then you just get on with the Disney plot. But there are two fantastic worlds, that show what happens when the time is taken to look at how they can contribute to the narrative. And they are Toy Box and San Francisco. Anyone that followed KH3's development knows that these were among the first worlds to be added. Hell, series director Tetsuya Nomura had to write the outline for KH3 specifically to get Toy Story. And this time and care shows. Toy Box, it's revealed, is a pocket dreaming universe a la Dream Drop Distance, created by young Xehanort to mess with the Toy Story cast, to figure out if they can possess hearts and if said hearts can be turned to darkness. Which, temporarily, they are. It's so cool to see Buzz obviously be really affected by the thought that his identity can just be overtaken, especially when his whole original character arc was based around existential self-actualization. This is so freaking good, you guys! Plus, Toy Box seems to be where all the Final Fantasy references go to die, so it's pretty cool on that front. And then there's San Francisco, world of Big Hero 6. This was the world I was looking forward to the second it was announced. And Papa Nomura and the Osaka team, did they deliver? Not only do we see the influx of Heartless have a kaiju-esque air of menace around this obviously populated metropolis, not only are the themes of friendship and group ingenuity from both properties merged together, not only do we see the organization bad do something that both messes with everyone and contributes to the overall narrative, this is a plot that is served by the inclusion of Kingdom Hearts. It responds to it, as opposed to dragging it along kicking and screaming. But unfortunately, this does not apply to every world. And so the main narrative, and what I would say is the plot of Kingdom Hearts 3, comes after you've completed all the Disney worlds. Going to Destiny Islands, freeing Aqua, freeing Ventus, going to the Keyblade Graveyard, this is all stuff that happens after the Disney stuff. And it makes the Disney world feel like less a part of the plot, and more of an obligation. Yes, it is true that Kingdom Hearts 1 had Hollow Bastion as its midpoint, but that still included stuff like the Princesses of Heart, Maleficent, and Beast. And while yes, we did have moments of Radiant Garden, Twilight Town, Keyblade Graveyard, and the Dark World, all these plot developments came between the Disney worlds. The Disney worlds are intruders in someone else's plot, a plot I enjoy, yes, but not one that is served by the inclusion of Disney. And nowhere is it more obvious than in Maleficent and Pete. These guys have become steadily more and more useless since Kingdom Hearts 2. They might as well have been Phil in the Olympus Coliseum. Ah, hi Phil! You gonna say something? Dude, anything? Oh, you were just here? Okay. Bye.
Get up on the Hydra's back!
They spend their entire time searching for a literal mystery box, the black box of undisclosed contents that Lucia has been dragging with him. What does this box contribute to the plot of Kingdom Hearts 3? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. People are after what they think is it in the Caribbean, but it's not. If you've seen the plot of World's End, which you again probably need to have to understand it, you know it's the heart of Davy Jones. All along. You know. The black box only appears in the epilogue, a dropped narrative thread that is saved for the next game, which, for a conclusion to an arc 16 years in the making, KH3 has a surprising amount. Which brings me to probably my biggest gripe. The ending. No, not even the ending, the last second. Kingdom Hearts is built on its tragic endings.
Kairi and Sora are separated, and Riku and Mickey are trapped in the world of
Sora
darkness.
goes to sleep after his entire identity is in
Xion
tatters.
ceases to exist in every possible way, and Roxas is involuntarily thrown in a digital prison, so he may eventually cease
Everyone
to
is asleep or in darkness, and no one is
be.
happy.
Sora fails to become a master after technically completing his mission and being subjected to a world of existential horror by a person he's defeated twice before. Also, the mastery of the Keyblade is ripped out as a thing that happened.
In fact, I think Kingdom Hearts 2 was the only game that had an ending that wasn't completely heartbreaking. Oh, look, they're smiling. Everything is fine. So, I could understand Kingdom Hearts 3 ending with another tragedy. I was all for some death and sadness. Mess me up! We pan up to the tree and see Sora and Kairi sitting together. Oh boy, here it comes. It's gonna be Kairi or neither of them. And then... Excuse me? Now, considering that young Xehanort was like...
What do you think the power of waking is? There's a high price to pay for wielding such power foolishly.
This seems like a good twist, right? But the problem is there's no moment of catharsis. This moment is especially important in a video game which requires the player to live through so big an experience. To witness the death of a beloved childhood character is heartbreaking. To have that thrust upon us in the last 2 seconds is disorientating at best, infuriating at worst. A good twist is like a good joke. It leans on both the setup and execution. If either fail, it becomes angering instead of cathartic. That's not to say that Kingdom Hearts 3 is without its moments of catharsis. Moments that spring to mind are Terra being freed from the Guardian, a genuinely good twist, Roxas, Axel, and Xion all crying and hugging it out, getting to play out a Trinity power of friendship beam to finally defeat Xehanort. That stuff is so cool. But if we're able to play out the moment where Sora defeats the Heartless Tornado with an onslaught of Keyblades from Unchained Union Cross Chi, it seems like an unfortunate last-minute stumble to not let us at least get to send off this beloved central character ourselves in the conclusion of a 16-year-long arc. Look, I feel like this has been harsh on a game that I essentially, well, loved. A series that's probably my favourite series of all time, and one I'm sad to see end, at least for this arc. I care so much about it because, despite all my grievances with the story, I love these characters. I care when they lose their loved ones. I care when they finally get those loved ones back. I care when they're upset, and I can't help but find them all incredibly charming. Even Terra, who's an idiot. Mr. Duped by Wiggly Fingers. But I think I'd be remiss in not acknowledging that it has its flaws. It deserves those near-perfect scores. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best the franchise has ever played, and reaches heights that the series could only dream of in its inception. But it also has its flaws, and that's why we love it, and why we want to see it always become better. Especially when your main character dies off screen, Tetsuya Nomura, what the? Hey, it's the end of the video. Thanks for letting me essay at you about Kingdom Hearts for however many minutes. Seeing as you're here, why not drop a like? If you're also a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, there's more stuff on the way, like a theory video on the secret ending and a cover I'm working on. In between that, there are going to be some Let's Plays of some in-progress indie titles and my own development work. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, subscribe with the bell icon so you don't miss any of that. Links to my Facebook and Twitter above, and hit me up if you're up for some KH discussions. Legit, this is one of my favourite series, and I have so much love for it, and will continue to love it. So anyone wanting to share in that, I am so here for. And of course, if you want to see more of this type of content, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.